Hi, everyone. We're just going to give everybody a couple of minutes to log in, and then we'll get started. Welcome, everyone. I'm Rebecca Heaton, Managing Partner at Trumbull Tech. When some people hear AI, they think robots or huge tech budgets, but AI is already shaping email and mid-sized businesses every day. There's so much information around AI that this is the Back to Basics webinar series. We will start from the beginning. We'll break down what AI actually is, how it's transforming business, and how you can start using it safely, smartly, and profitably. Today, I'm joined by Natalie Suarez to discuss artificial intelligence for business owners in our Back to Basics seminar.
Thanks, Rebecca. So let's start this thing. So what is AI exactly? So AI is when a machine performs tasks that require human intelligence, like understanding language or recognizing patterns. It's really not magic. It's really a bunch of data and math used very creatively. Automation follows rules. AI learns and adapts to improve outcomes.
Can
Uh,
you can you
yeah,
explain what generative AI means to us?
yeah, I almost asked you a question.
I know
So
I get to ask you the questions.
I know. So what it does is this is a subset of AI. Usually when small businesses are talking AI, they really are talking generative AI or co-pilots. What it does is it creates new content. That content could be text, it could be images, it could be code and more. And really what it does is it gives you a specific output based on a prompt or a question that you ask it. And a co-pilot is just a specific AI powered application. Simple stuff, right?
Yep.
So everyday AI is already woven into everything. If you're using Apple Maps, Google Maps, a streaming service, Siri, Alexa, spam filters, certain cybersecurity tools, they're all powered by AI. If you're doing a simple Google search or Yahoo search or whatever they Bing search, right? The first hit you normally get is that AI synopsis. I seriously though recommend you skip right past that. But basically, it is in everything to improve efficiency and also to improve security. And why does that matter? Well, AI is actually the biggest tech disruptor since the internet in the 90s. When the internet came out to the common people, that was a huge tech disruptor, changed the way we did business. Same kind of thing. People were like, oh, everyone's going to lose their jobs. You know, we have this great thing now. And kind of the same deal with AI, right? Why does it matter? Because can boost your productivity, it can reduce your cost, it can help you make better decisions if you use it correctly. And it can give you personalized experiences for you and for your clients, right? You could think of it as a tireless assistant that gets smarter every single day. Honestly, if I think about what it did 6 months ago and what it does for me now, there's really huge leaps and bounds, right? So, specifically, what does it do for small businesses, right? So, it can do things that can help you with your marketing. It can create content, it can create images, it can create campaigns, it can help you do the outreach, it can monitor your reviews, it can monitor your customer experience on your website. You know, maybe you have a simple chatbot that answers like the most commonly asked questions that you have, and then it refers them to a person. Maybe it helps you with sales forecasting or translating languages so you can reach further beyond your borders to extend your business. So, Rebecca, what do you use it for here at Trumbull and personally too?
Yep. I actually use it for like to rewrite emails. Like maybe I have some thoughts, but I want to make sure it comes across the right way or the right tone. I also create all of our social media campaigns and posts. And so I use it to help with that as well. Like, for example, we do these fun birthday odes for all of our team members. You know, it would take me, a couple of days to create something rhyming for each employee versus, I just say, hey, you know, here's this person, here's what they like, make it rhyme and make it a paragraph and boom, it's done in several seconds. So I use it for those kind of basic
Cool.
everyday
Makes
events.
makes me wonder what rhymes with Lego. I mean, I'm just asking.
We will find out when it's your birthday.
Soon.
Yep.
So, let's do a simple demonstration of what AI can do for you. So I'm just going to end that right there. And so that you don't have to painfully watch me type, I'm going to put a prompt in here. This is a a plus version, plus version of Chat GPT. And I'm going to paste that in there. Before I do that, I want you to take a look at something. I'm going to go into my settings and I want you to pay attention to certain things. When you're using an AI, some of the things you should pay attention to, sorry, it's on the screen over here, are things like what are the terms of service? So for Chat GPT, for instance, the terms of service, especially for the free version, say, hey, everything you put into me belongs to me, can go back into the large language model and can be regurgitated to anyone else who uses it. It doesn't say it will be, but it says it could be. I also want you to go in and look at any privacy or data controls or security stuff, right? So we're going to go into the data controls, and I want you to see this one here, improve the model for everyone. So that is letting the data that I put in here go back into the large language model so it can be regurgitated back to others. And I don't care about what I'm doing now, or I'm very cautious about what I put in there because the internet is forever and ChatGPT is on the internet, right? So I'm going to close that now, but I want you to be cognizant of that. And we'll talk a little bit more as we're doing this demonstration and as we're going through this presentation on what are the kind of things that you need to be careful for. So what I'm going to do is let's pretend, so I said just for a small business, let's say for what do we want? What kind of business? For a cleaning company, a small business cleaning company announcing a limited time fall discount. And let's see what it does. Now, this is a very basic prompt. You're probably all familiar with the term garbage in, garbage out, right? Well, it's only going to give me what I asked for. So couple things. Number one, there's a lot of turmoil over this, but people say that when there is one of these M dashes, that it means you used AI. And now the reason AI uses it, because people really do use those. I know that before AI, I used them. I've been accused of using AI because I had dashes, so I don't use them anymore. So we're going to do a couple of things here. We're going to say, can you make this more fun and entertaining? And can you remove the dashes? Now, this is just a fun little example. I could have said, make it more professional. I could have said, add emojis because I'm putting this on Facebook. And I just want to show you how easy it is to do something like that. I didn't give away any secret sauce. Another thing you can do is you could talk. Remember when I said make it more fun and entertaining? You can teach it your voice. So let's see. So what is my voice? Let me see. You could tell it your audience. Can you modify if my audience is other small businesses? Let's see what it does. I'm doing this live, so who knows what's going to happen. This will be fun, right? I could tell it my audience is homeowners. I could tell it my audience is multi-million-dollar homeowners, right? So you follow me. The more information you get it, the more specific it's going to be. Let's see what it did. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, so you could focus on, and now added the stupid dash back in. So I'd have to go back in again and say, remember 2 seconds ago when I told you to remove the dash, right? That's the fun of doing a live demo, right, guys? So that's just a quick, fun thing you can do, but you really can use this. Like Rebecca said, we do use it for social media. I use it, honestly, for email a lot because I'm a very direct person. And when you're a very direct person and you send an email, sometimes you don't sound so nice. It's not that I'm not nice. It's just that I'm a direct person. So I'll have it polish up my tone, right?
I also think this is a good point to bring up right now is as you talk to it, you can also tell it, especially for business, hey, here's my business, here are my offerings, here's my target market. And so then when you do, the next day or whenever you say, hey, create a social media post
it remembers
for attorneys and, this offering, it's going to already know because it's going to have all of that background information in there. So that's kind of nice as well. Like that's where you start feeling like, okay, it does know my personality. It does know what I'm looking for.
Yeah, and it could create like marketing collateral or post where you can put in your logos. Now, I will tell you one shortfall of ChatGPT is the fact that sometimes it doesn't always use the logo as you give it. It may have some weird formatting, but there are other tools that are better at doing those types of things. And
right. I definitely have not had success with graphics.
No. Not with ChatGPT.
No.
But as a matter of fact, another really cool use case is for ChatGPT. I actually used a combination of ChatGPT and Canva. And honestly, I hate to admit it, but it's the first time I've really ever used Canva to actually create the design of this presentation. Because I gave it what my talk track is, what I wanted to talk about, who I was talking to, and said, hey, go off and do wonderful things. And, I made some changes, some tweaks, definitely. I mean, still got part of the words wrong, even though I gave it to it, right? And it's still,
Yep.
some of the graphics were, I didn't really care for them too much. So I changed those, but it was a huge time saver, right? If you
Right.
know what you're talking about, it's a huge time saver.
Yep.
Yeah. So now that we've done that, let's talk about more of the things that I thought about staying safe with AI when I was doing this. So let's talk about risk and responsible AI. So AI can do some things that really aren't cool, right? It can amplify bias, it can mishandle data, it can produce inaccuracies. Like I said, even if you give it the logo, it may change it. Rebecca and I were just talking about how every time I ask it to enhance a photo of me. To me, it looks like a totally different person. And guess what? Same to her, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So this is why human oversight is key. Think of AI as a smart intern, right? Always, always, always check its work, right? Learn how to fact check. Of course, I don't have to tell you all this, but be ethical, right? Be ethical. Don't put somebody else's private data in there, right? Verify the data you're using. Verify that it is data you should be using, right? Am I using this in a public GPT? Am I using this in an internal private GPT where it's safe? And ensure privacy of yourself and the people and the clients that you're doing business with. So with that being said, let's just talk about a few stories about AI going wrong. How many people have heard about this vibe coding fiasco? So this company owner, what he did is he blundered. He created some code, relied on the code with AI, and it deleted all of their company data. So that was a really sad moment for him. Hopefully we've learned from him. And we all don't have the same similar type sad moments.
I'm feeling better about myself, Natalie.
Vibe coding.
Oh,
Yeah, don't even get me started. Now let's talk about some of the types of bias that we can have with an AI. So one of those is a creator bias. And the story here about the Google CEO, and by the way, we could follow up with you guys later if you want to connect with us. We'll tell you how to do that. And I can send you the links to all these stories if you'd like. And you can read them yourself. They're all pretty quick reads, right? But with creator bias, what happened is the creator bias, he went a little too far in one direction. And I didn't include the pictures here because I didn't want to post them because they were kind of offensive. But what happened is it was creating figures of historical characters, but they were a little inaccurate, like racially diverse Nazis. So that was a little off, right? And they vowed that they're going to fix that. But we're still in May 2025 when this last update was written. And then another type of bias is implicit or unintended bias. And that's exactly what happened to Amazon. So Rebecca and I, we're women in tech, right? We know we're the minority, don't we, Rebecca?
yep.
So, you have to be careful about the data you feed to your AI. So what Amazon did is they were hiring for technical positions and they fed to it resumes of ideal candidates, perhaps people who already work for them, right? And in technology, women are the minority, men are the majority. Well, because they left that identifying information in the resumes, the AI wrongly assumed that the ideal candidate for the position was a man. They didn't mean to do that, right? But that's why you have to roll things out slowly. You have to test your data. You have to understand what your outcome should be so you can test and verify that what you're trying to do is correct. And it's not either biased by a creator or unintentionally biased or really does something bad like delete all your data. So let's talk a little bit more about AI in the news. Okay, so you may have heard a bunch of these stories. So the first story got from Fortune. This is about Deloitte. They were caught using AI to create a $290,000 report for the Australian government. They are going to be returning some money to the government, right? They cited non-existent research papers, fabricated quotes from federal court judgments, and even quoted a book, a non-existent book that was created by a Sydney University professor, right? This is definitely a wake-up call for using AI without the proper safeguards. Another older story I don't have in here is Samsung lost intellectual property because they let their software developers use AI without proper guardrails. The story in the middle with the fist, that is all about, that is from Wired. That is all about all the copyright lawsuits. Want to be super careful that we're not using copyrighted information. Just because we get it from a GPT or a Copilot does not mean it's okay to use without doing our research and doing our own due diligence, right? Lots of lawyers, don't know if we have any lawyers here today, but there's a lot of them getting in trouble for citing hallucinated cases, right? And I thought it would kind of slow down.
But actually, Natalie, this brings up a good point. Could you explain hallucinations a little bit?
Yes.
People that don't understand that.
Yeah. So So think of it this way. So when Rebecca and I are talking to one another and I ask Rebecca a question, if she knows the answer, she's going to answer it. If she doesn't know the answer, she may say something like, Natalie, I really don't know, or that's an interesting point, or let me get back to you. An AI is not going to tell you that. An AI is they're programmed to give you an answer. So they may give you a false answer, or they may just totally make up an answer because of the predictive analysis part of AI, which we call a hallucination. So what these, in both the case of Deloitte and in the lawyers, these AIs have hallucinated or just out and out made up references. And it's funny, sometimes if you ask, it will tell you, oh yeah, I made that up. And or sometimes if you ask for references, which is a trick I've done before too, that's really interesting to see what you get back, because you also want to make sure, I know what reputable sources are in my own industry, and I would imagine that what reputable sources are in your industry, right? Just because some source on the internet tells us something is true does not mean it's true, right? Do you think that explains it, Rebecca?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, awesome. Another great thing that AI is used for is phishing scams. And it could be any type of social engineering. Phishing is a type of social engineering, right? It could be a email that no longer has grammatical errors. The things to still look for in email or voice communications are things like sense of urgency or a request you weren't expecting. Take those all into consideration when you're responding to someone or when you're responding to an email. Worst case scenario, it takes a little longer to respond to someone, or instead of clicking on that link in the email, you go directly to your Microsoft or Google account and change your password there, right?
Yep. And it can happen to family members as well. So one easy thing you can take away today is, if you're like, every family should have some kind of like safe password or whatever that, if somebody's calling the grandparent and saying, hey, your grandson's in jail, what's the family password, right? And if they can't answer it, then you know that it's fake. So that's an easy takeaway. We're also going to be launching our podcast in January, and we're going to have guests on there that have been, victims of these deep fake scams as well. So I recommend everybody kind of keep an eye out for that, because, you kind of feel like it's talked about so much that you'd like, is that just an urban legend at this point? But like, because you hear about it, but you don't really know the people, but we actually do know the people. We do hear about it firsthand. And so we're definitely going to have some guests like that on our podcast in the future.
Yeah, that's a great point. And as you guys can see from this article, deep fake attacks are hitting about 2/3 of businesses, right? And we already know that cyber scams typically target small businesses. You're much more targeted than the larger enterprises, believe it or not. And then I have on this slide the "it can happen to anybody" story. KnowBe4, they are a cybersecurity company here in Clearwater, Florida. This is an article directly from their blog. I'm not saying this to disparage anyone. They had a North Korean fake IT worker try to become part of their team. They caught the person right away. They caught the suspicious activity. So nothing bad happened. But if it can happen to a cybersecurity company, guess what? It can happen to anyone. Those people at KnowBe4 are super smart. I know a lot of them. This is not a bad mark on them at all. This is just the way life is now, right?
Natalie, we actually did have a question come in. It says, have you encountered instances where AI has made up references and links as well?
Oh, yes, definitely. All the time. That made up links, made up references, totally like when I was creating this, not any links or references, but just totally wrong information. But yes, I have definitely seen it for myself. So good question. Not urban legends, people. We swear. Okay, so what else is something we should be careful for, right? I talked a little bit about Samsung earlier. I'm sure that their engineers giving away proprietary information probably made an impact on their bottom line. I don't know how they could measure that. That might be something a little difficult to measure, but there's not much difference to me anyway. Maybe, I don't know, maybe to some people there are between a Sony TV or Samsung TV or an LG TV or whatever TV, right? So I would imagine their proprietary information is pretty important to them, right? So I mentioned it earlier, but I think it warrants mentioning again. A paid subscription does not guarantee privacy. Please, I know it's boring. I know they're long. But you really, in this day and age, you shouldn't be installing any software or using any cloud services or anything through a website without understanding the terms of services, right? When you're not paying for something, you are the commodity, and data is so powerful and is so important and worth so much money. So guard your privacy, please, and especially when using a GPT or AI of any kind. Okay, so little quiz question here. You guys can answer or not. So this is our buddy Beth here typing on the keyboard. And should Beth type any of this information into her chat GPT, whether she's paid for it or not? Sales commission structure, any personally identifiable information, credit card information, salaries, company financials, protected health information? Spoiler alert, no. You should not be typing any of that stuff in there, right? So Rebecca, do you want to introduce our audience to our new BFFs?
Oh, our new BFF, Natalie and I tease about this all the time because we'll say, well, what did your BFF think about that? So that's our nickname for our chat GPT or co-pilots. So, and we ask it question. I don't know about Natalie, but I ask it a lot of questions throughout the day.
Yeah.
I've even fought with it because it'll be like, he's giving me just the wrong answer. And I'm like, that's not what I asked. That's not what I asked. So, it's definitely my BFF at this point. But given that you feel comfortable with it and the more you do interact with it, you can start to feel, sort of like these are private conversations between my BFF and myself. But it's not. It is public. It is on a public forum. So you just need to remember that if you're going to think of it as your BFF, it's your gossipy BFF. It's like the housewives of,
Atlanta.
So don't tell it personal info like your finances or personal data or company data or anything like that.
Right. Because there are solutions for more privacy.
Yep.
So being all of this, how should we use it responsibly? Well, so I would say start with small repeatable wins, right? That build confidence and momentum. Don't use it for real projects at first. Maybe use it for a project that's really low risk. One of our colleagues suggested use it to create an invitation for your kid's birthday party. I mean, it could be low risk if you have a small child. If you have a teenager, that could also be high risk, couldn't it? So, do things that are low risk and start small and get bigger, right? Just don't bite off more than you can chew, and don't be afraid to start somewhere, right? So, how should you begin? First of all, you're attending stuff like this. So this is great. You're beginning to understand the risk to your organization, right? You should have a official AI use policy. Now, am I talking about a 30-page document in font 10 point or 8-point font? No, I'm talking about 1 or 2 pages that says things like, hey, if you're using a GPT for company purposes, you should be using the corporate enterprise internal GPT, not a public GPT. Company information should never go into your personal or public GPT, right? So have things like that. Then identify a challenge. Maybe it's something small. Maybe it's like your employee handbook. And you're a small business, maybe your employee handbook's only a couple of pages long, right? Maybe it's just a checklist. Automate that, right? That is a very easy to test and check and see how that turns out. There's a specific tool called Notebook LM. It's a Google tool. And you can use that to create training for like your employee handbook. You maybe even have time now to extend it and modify it time you've never had before, right? So identify a challenge, right? Like onboarding of employees. Pick one AI tool. There's, so many, more than you can count, right? Train your team on the policy and how to use the tool, and then measure your results. As long as you understand the outcomes and you can measure, you're on the road to success, right? Start small.
And a lot of our current clients, that's part of their hours that they get with us for their monthly contract is we can help them set up these certain policies. We can do, train. We've done trainings before. I know you and I have for some of our clients as a group. So yeah, just these are really important things that need to get done.
Yeah, they are. They're really important things. Another important thing is, like I said, for an onboarding, I would use something like Notebook LM. It's really important to use the correct AI tool for the task. Now, ChatGPT may have been the right tool for me to say, here's my talk track, and this is what I want to talk about, and this is who I want to talk to, and create the content for the slide. But ChatGPT alone was not the correct tool for actually creating the slides. That was the integration of ChatGPT and Canva, right? And so that was the correct tool. Notebook LM, correct tool for learning, for making that employee handbook, right? To onboard people automatically. And this is by no means is this exhaustive at all, right? I really like Perplexity. It's great for statistics. It does give sources. I understand Grok is really great for real-time information. I personally have not used it very much, right? I've used Sora, I've used Dolly, I've used ChatGPT. OpenAI has a GPT where their community published GPTs. Also be very careful with that. I used Canva, right? Canva has its own AI. It has integrations like I talked about with ChatGPT. Juro is great for contracts and legal. MetaLlama is an open source large language model that you can use to create your own GPTs if you're super advanced. There's bunches for note taking, right? Adobe has a free one for images. And there are industry specific tools. There are tools specific for working with your CRMs. There are tools for market analysis, whether you're in real estate, whether you're in home building, whether you're in commercial construction, and many, many, many more. Too many to list them all, too many to count, and too many to play with them all, right?
I think this is a great list, though, for the basics, right?
Yeah.
These are kind of the top.
Yeah. I mean, there's some great tools on here. Oops, I went the wrong way. Sorry, we already did that. So what does the future look like? As I was saying earlier, I'm just astounded by what I did 6 months ago with AI and what I could do now. I remember using it to make images for presentations before. Like I said, I sadly did not jump on the Canva bandwagon, and I wish I had, right? Hindsight's always 20/20. But I did some images, I'd say probably like a year ago, for an AI presentation. And I'm a nerd, so I asked it for a picture of people sitting around a table playing Dungeons and Dragons. And I wish I had that picture to show you. It was creepy. Everybody had 6 fingers. Nobody had faces. It was really dark. And, as you can see by the images, at least I think by the images in this, that capability has improved a lot, right? You should just expect it to get better and better. I'm not sure what term to use because I really don't want to use a negative term, but we're in an AI arms race. And I know that sounds kind of negative, but that means that we are getting the benefit of more personal, more productive, and more proactive AI capabilities, right? You're just going to see much, much more every day with AI, right? So right now, you need to jump on this bandwagon. Start now to lead, not have to catch up, right?
It's definitely something not to bury your head in the sand. Like
Oh no,
it's not going away. So you need to at
no.
least know the basics,
Yeah,
how to
and
protect
that's why I
yourself.
say,
Yeah.
like we're talking about, you need to have a policy because people are going to use it, whether you give them the right to use it or not.
Mhm.
And I don't know about you, Rebecca, but if someone tells me not to do something, I might just do it anyway, just to spite them.
Right.
FYI, maybe a little rebel in there somewhere, right? So, what are the key takeaways? AI is here now. It's accessible to you personally. It's accessible to you in your business. Start small. Think strategically. Combine creativity with efficiency. And what is the winning formula? Human plus AI collaboration. I cannot stress that enough. It is a collaboration between humans and AI. Even in technology companies, we're still at a collaboration between human and AI collaboration. So, my final thoughts, thank you, first of all. AI isn't here to replace people, it's here to empower you. It helps us work smarter, helps us be more creative. Like I said, I'm great with the content, not so great with making these pretty things, right? And I hope today's session gave you some ideas that you can put into use right away to really move your business forward. And with that, I will hand it over to Rebecca to close us out and share final few thoughts of her own.
Thanks, Natalie, and thank you all for joining us today. At Trumbull, we believe that innovation begins with curiosity and confidence. So technology should work for you, not against you. Keep experimenting, keep learning, and remember that every step is towards smarter business and did I mess that up? Well, let me start that over again.
We'll use that for our blooper reel.
And remember that every step towards smarter business is a step towards growth. So apparently I need to grow my speech patterns. And we're also here to help you on that journey. So don't forget to join us on our next live stream, Thursday, November 20th, same time, same place. And it's going to be a really great series. It's digital housekeeping year-end tech tune-up. So it will give a lot of great topics on what you need to be doing for year end that relates to your IT and tech. And also feel free to scan the QR code that's shown on the screen. That will take you to our website and contact us, check out our website, our different offerings. We also have a web page that is just free content, free educational content. You can download it. And learn about our offerings. We're also giving away a free cybersecurity assessment for the month of October for Cybersecurity Awareness Month. That's a $300 value, so feel free to contact us directly or through the website or what have you, and we look forward to seeing you on our next webinar.
All right, awesome. Thanks so much. Hope everyone has a great rest of their week. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.